Oh shit! Hey there, YouTube. How are you? So, I got something cool today. Well, actually, I got it the other day, but I chose today to do the unboxing. So, today, I received my ColorFabbXT. It is a 3D printing material. Now, I haven't really done much ColorFabbXT on my AirWolf 3D printer. This is my first 3mm filament that I received from ColorFabbXT. I have a roll right here. This is my roll of ColorFabbXT and 1.75mm roll, and this is for my DaVinci XYZ 3D printer. I kind of ran into some issues running it on my XYZ, so I really haven't gotten a lot of opportunity or chances to use it. That's why I got all this stuff. You know, we talked before in the other movie, I got my Bowden drive, I got my E3D print head. That's kind of why I went that direction, so that I could try this in my DaVinci XYZ. So I really haven't gotten that big of an opportunity to use it. So, the other day, I received my ColorFabbXT, and I got it in 3mm or 2.88 if you want to call it. So I'm going to do a quick little unbox here. It's really nothing special. Pretty much you open the box. Now the box is wrapped in saran wrap. I already took that off. And inside the box they give you obviously your roll. And I like that the roll's clear. You know, they do all of their filaments on a clear roll. That way you can tell exactly how much filament's left. This is a 750 millimeter roll. I don't know exactly how much that works out to be in meters, but it's a good amount. You can get ColorFabbXT in the 3mm. I believe you can get it in a 2.2 pound roll, which is great. It's a huge roll. So I got the 750 grams. I'm sorry, roll in the ColorFabbXT. I chose to go this route because I'd like to get a whole bunch of different colors, and I don't think I need 2.2 pounds of each color. I think 750 grams of each color is more than sufficient. They do sample packs. I might get a few of those just to try different colors, different materials. You get about 50 grams, I think, to a sample pack, so I might do that. It is saran wrapped, so they do a very good job wrapping it. It is all covered. I guess humidity, stuff like that, it takes a toll on filament, so you want to make sure that you keep your filament in a dry, non-humid, climate-controlled area. A lot of people will shrink wrap them or put them in plastic bags. I don't know. I just keep mine out in the open. I don't know if it really makes a difference. It might down the line, I guess, over a couple of years. I guess it could absorb it, but I don't know. That's all hearsay. You know, it's personal preference. So, what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to open this up. I'm going to feed it in my AirWolf 3D printer. I've already printed one part. I made this vase. I printed this vase off, and I made it in the AirWolf ABS. It's just their standard ABS. It's the first roll that came with the printer. It's in black, but if you can see here, let me see if I can get the picture quality. See there? Normal ABS will separate if it's cooled too quickly. ABS has a very high shrink rate, where you'll get, it's a strong material, but it will shrink. Where PLA is not as strong, but it won't shrink as much, or virtually no shrinking at all. So, you know, on this vase, as you can see there, I think I can get it. I think you can see the light behind it. There you go. Right there, you can see that the vase shrunk. You know, down at the bottom where the heat was concentrated, because it does have a heated bed, down at the bottom where the heat was concentrated and stayed warm and was able to cool all at the same time, had no separation, had no lifting, no issues at all. But once it gets up too high where it's away from that heated bed, that's when you seem to have issues, where it might cool too quickly and then it will separate or pull or lift like it did in this case. Now, what I've read and what I've seen in all my research, ColorFabbXT has the same exact characteristics as ABS. It has a higher melting point, which is great. You don't have to use the bed. You don't have to use the bed as high. as temperature, and it does not shrink as much as normal ABS. So we're going to put that to the test. I'm going to print the exact same vase. I'm going to print this exact same base, exact same settings, except for the heat for the extruder, because the ColorFab requires a little bit higher temperature on the extruder, and it requires less temperature on the bed. So I'm going to print this exact same vase. I'm going to see how it does. Pretty much exactly the same settings, so keep that in mind. But just going to tweak a little bit for the heat, because this requires different heat. And then we're going to do a little quick comparison and see how it how it comes out. Let's put ColorFabbXT to the test in the AirWolf 3D HDx single extruder printer. Hey guys, how you doing? Shano here, and I'm back. Now, I don't know if you can hear it behind me or not. I have my printer purging out all the old filament. I'm at about 500 meters right now of filament purging, and I'm still finding traces of that black ABS, the AirWolf 3D, the stock ABS that they give me. And like I said, I want to show you why that's so important to make sure you purge out everything. I want to make sure that that extruder doesn't have any of the black ABS left in it, so it won't mix into the ColorFabbXT. And I'm still finding some traces even up to almost 400 or 500 meters. So I might do another extra 100 meters just to be on the safe side, make sure that there's no more filament in there, because you don't want to mix it too. So while that's doing that, what I want to do is I want to pull up my slicing program. I use Cura. It's 15.04. Let me pull that up here. Now, this is a great little slicing program. I enjoy it. I like how it does everything in real time for you. You don't have to hit a slice button. It's going to automatically slice it in real time for you. That way you know what you're looking at and what settings do what. So we have that program open, and the next thing I want to point out is this. With my AirWolf 3D printer, you get this nice little USB. If you look here, we can crack it open, and boom. Now, on this USB, they give you a huge amount of files. There is anything from sample prints on this to default settings to parts that you need for the printer. If you had to print out the extruder or the Bowden drive gears, they would be on this. Anything and everything is on this little USB. I think it's a great point that AirWolf sat down and they put together this USB, and they tested all these different types of filaments, and they came up with what was the best settings for those filaments. They have settings for Repetier on here. They have settings for Cura on here. They have settings for matter control. And they use an online base called AstroPrint, which has those settings automatically built in as well. So I think it's great that they sat down and found out what works the best for ColorFabbXT. They found out what works the best for NinjaFlex. They found out what works the best for regular ABS and PLA and nylon and carbon polycarbonate. They figured out all of them, and they put them right on this USB, and they supply it to you when you buy the printer. And I think that is an awesome selling point. You know, they've taken all the hard work and the guesswork out of it for you. So, with that said, we are obviously printing in the ColorFabbXT. So what we want to do is we want to go over in the corner, we're going to hit File, and we're going to go down to here where it says Open Profile. Now, I have saved all the profiles onto my desktop in this file called AirWolf 3D HDx Presets. And we're going to find the ColorFabbXT file, and we're going to open that up. Now, as you can see over in the corner here, it has changed the layer height to 0.2, the shell thickness to 0.7, bottom top thickness to 0.8, the fill density to 40, the print speed to 25 millimeters a second, printing temperature went to 250, and the bed temperature went to 80. So they've sat down and they figured these are the best settings for Cura, and what they think is going to give me the best print quality. So with that said, now we want to drag in our STL file. So we're going to go back to File. We're going to load model. And this is the same one that I printed here. This is that black vase. And when I printed this vase, I actually upscaled the vase. So what I want to do is I want to go over here to the scale, and I want to upscale it to 1.2. And that's what I had upscaled this vase to, and I think that's important because we're technically doing a test here. I want to test the two different materials. I want to see the differences between them. I want to see if the ColorFabbXT is going to peel just like the ABS did. I want to see if the layers are going to look the same. I want to compare the two materials. So I think it's important that we do print it in the same size. We print it in the same thickness, the same shell thickness. We want to do it the same exact way as we did before with this black one. Okay. So with that said, we're going to bump it up to a 1.2. We're going to go over here. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but it gives us a 70-hour and 25-minute print time. And something that's contributing to that time is right here, the fill density. We're going to want to knock that fill density down to 0, because obviously it's a vase. You don't want anything in it. We want it empty. It's a vase. So we're going to knock that down to 0. And if you watch our time, like I said, with the Cura, it's automatically slicing it right then and there every time we make an adjustment. So it's going to knock it down to 7 hours and 40 minutes. Now, one important fact that you need to know if you're printing something with an open top or an open bottom, you need to make sure that you go into the expert settings, go to open expert settings, and right here on the infill, it's solid infill top and solid infill bottom. If you want to print something like a vase that does not have a solid top but has a solid bottom, pretty self-explanatory, you're going to want to unclick infill solid top or solid infill top. Unclick that because we want an open top. Give that a second. It's slicing it right here for us. Wait for it. Ah, there we go. Boom goes the dynamite. 6 hours and 39 minutes. So we've gone from 70 hours down to 7 hours down to 6 hours and 39 minutes to print in the ColorFabbXT. With that said, we can go over here and we can go view our layer thud. Now, what it's doing right now is it's actually slicing it into layers for us. And as you can see here, you can go over to the right-hand side and actually mark it down through layers. So we can go all the way down to the first layer and move all the way up to the top layer. And on the right-hand side, you can see that we're actually going to print 1,184 different layers. So, now that we've sliced it, we've imported our settings, we're all set, we're ready to go. We're going to click here and we're going to save the toolpath. And I'm just going to save it right to my desktop. We're going to go here, we're going to hit yes, and boom. Now it's all saved to my desktop, it's all set, it's ready to go. I'm going to load it up onto my SD card, I'm going to put it over on my printer, and we're going to print it out. We'll catch you over there, guys.
Hey guys, how you doing? Shano here. So, I got my two vases. I printed them out. I did a few tweaks and adjustments here and there. I had a couple problems. I ran into a few issues with the prints. I had to change a few settings and find out exactly what worked the best for the ColorFabbXT. Like I said, it's nice that AirWolf sends you this little USB and they give you all the settings on it that they think are the best. But depending on your conditions, your humidity, I got my dehumidifier in the background, I have the AC. So depending on your climate and your conditions, that could change. So I got my vases. I'll show you a little comparison of the two and what I did and how it worked out good.
Okay, guys, so here are my two vases. The black one right here, this is ABS from AirWolf 3D. It's just a standard ABS. There's nothing special about it. It's not their premium ABS. It's not their polycarbonate ABS. It's not any special engineered ABS. It's just a standard ABS from AirWolf 3D printing. Okay, the orange one here is ColorFabbXT. They're both 3mm filaments. Nothing really changes as far as the filaments go. ColorFabbXT is still classified as an ABS or having the same characteristics as an ABS with some benefits that come along with it. They've engineered it a little bit different to change some of the characteristics that your traditional ABS plastic would have. So let's go over that right now. So if we take the black vase here, you can see at the bottom portion of this vase,
it came out great. The bottom portion looks amazing. There's no separation. There's no issues. I have great layer bonding. Everything came out really nice. Because the heat is so concentrated on the bottom of this vase from the heated bed, the issue arises once that heat concentration is too far away from the material. So as you can see, once we get from the bottom up, that's probably a good, I'd have to say that's probably a good 4 to 5 inches. So once you get from that bottom where that heat is at 120 degree bed temperature all the way up, you lose that concentrated heat. So the top portion cools quicker than the bottom portion, causing it to separate. It causes the two layers to actually lift and pull. And you can see it separated there, separated there, separated there. You can see the warping that actually happened in the plastic because it didn't cool evenly. Now, could you get it to cool evenly? Yes, you might be able to get a fan on and direct that flow to actually cool the plastic right away. You might not get as good as bondage between your layers, but you could tweak things, you could adjust things. I might try this print a few more different times and a few more different scenarios and see if I can actually get this print to print successful without any lifting. I might go thicker on the shell of it. I might try couple different things and see what happens. But for smaller prints and smaller, lower, not as tall prints, great plastic. It works great. As you can see, where it's concentrated, the heat, not a single problem, not an issue at all. Okay, guys, so now this is the ColorFabbXT, an amazing product. I could not be happier with the print quality of this item. I said before I had some issues printing on this material, and it wasn't so much an issue with the material itself. It was more of my climate and my area. I'm in the Northeast. It's pretty humid right now. I got my dehumidifier trying to, I'm in my living room, which is in my basement. I got the dehumidifier, so that's changing the climate constantly in here. I have a ceiling fan. That's constantly changing the airflow of the room. I have an AC going, which is constantly changing the temperature in the room. So I had a lot of factors in this that made this material a little bit harder for me to print. I don't know why it didn't really affect the ABS that much, but I had some issues with this, some feeder issues. So, where it just maybe the temperature wasn't exactly right and the fan might have kicked on and cooled down the extruder, and then I got, they call it mouse bite on the AirWolf 3D, where the Bowden drive has an issue and, it won't feed filament anymore. So I had a couple issues, but I worked through all of those. It only took me 3 different prints, and when I say 3 different prints, I mean I only had maybe that much of this thing printed, and then I realized that it wasn't printing properly, so I canceled it out before it went too far. Now, this material on its own, as you can see, does an amazing job. Look at the quality in this print, and I could not be happier with the way this came out. It just phenomenal. I didn't have any issues. The layers are amazing. This holds water. I've even pressure tested it a little. I didn't go crazy, but I filled it up with water and added air pressure to the top of it, and it held. It didn't blow. It's great material. Very happy with it. It's totally worth the money. If you guys are going to get a filament or anything that you're looking for the characteristics of ABS, it's a very strong material. I'm very happy with it. I test printed a couple other pieces to try it out and see how strong it is. It's a very strong material when printed properly. I also printed this piece in the ColorFabbXT. It's for my Apple Watch and my iPhone 6 Plus. It's a docking station for both of them, and the quality of this piece came out great. I had to use a little support material on this to hold up this piece, but other than that, it came out great. Great model. I love the product. It does a great job. I'm going to get it in a bunch of different colors and continue on printing. So, between the two, obviously, this is going to cost a little bit more money as far as material goes, but if you're going to take the time, the effort to print something, might as well print it once. And you get a perfect print with the ColorFabbXT every time. So that's going to do it, guys. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. Keep watching my videos. If you want to see something that you haven't seen already, shoot me a line. Put something in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll do my best to make it happen. Again, thanks, guys.